SimCoder here, and today we are going to learn how to cancel an Uber request from a customer. We can go right into it. And first of all, I'm going to show you how it works because I already have the code here. So I'm going to pull my Firebase project there, and both the driver and the customer. So let's go ahead and just move this away so that you can see. Okay, here we go. We are going to call Uber. As you can see, it was called, no problem. And now we are going to click again in order to cancel it. As you can see, everything went back to normal. Here it is a bit delayed, but it will update it in a second. Here we go. So yeah, that's the main goal for this lesson. So let's get right into it and go into our Android project. So here we are in the customer map activity. And the way you're going to do it is in this click listener. We are going to have a boolean, which is going to be set to true when a request is in order and false when it isn't. And that way we can know exactly in which state we are in and what we gotta do in with each one of them. So let's call a boolean here. And we are going to call it request bool equals to false. And now we're going to use a switch for that same boolean. So you can go ahead and just say that. And case is true. Oh, that's right, we can use boolean. So let's use just an if, a simple if. It's easier that way. It jumped there. So let's grab that. If the request is in order, then we are going to cancel it. Else, if this is set to false, which is the same as saying there is no request at the moment, we are going to create a request. So we can copy what we did in the previous license in here. So now let's get into the fun part. We gotta understand what we need to do. So we need to both clear everything that's created when you call an Uber from the database and cancel these listeners, because if you don't, then you'll erase it from here, but the listeners will still be going and going and going, so it won't serve you of much. So first of all, we are going to actually make the listeners a variable so that we can cancel them inside here, because there is no way to cancel them if they are not a variable. So first, for the get closest driver, we are going to use the geofile. We are going to create a geoquery, and this geoquery is going to be this one, so you can stop that, and that way it will make it use this variable. And yeah, for the geofire, you only need to call the variable that's the query. For the listener below, it is a little different, but for now we can grab the geoquery, go in here and say remove all listeners. Now for the driver location ref, you are going to we need two variables. The first of which is private database reference. Actually, you can just copy it from below. This reference, and remove database reference from there. And now we are going to create a listener. Private value event listener, which is equal to driver location listener. And just say that the listener that we already have here is equal to the variable that we created. And now to actually remove it, we copy the database reference, go up here and say dot remove event listener driver location ref listener. And for the listeners, it is all. But now let's go a bit deeper and remove the values from the database, which is the most important part. So first of all, let's just say request bool equals to false, because right now there's no request, and in here let's say equals to true. And before removing, we are actually going to, just to be sure, say that if the only way that you can actually proceed with this listener is if the request bool is at that moment true. If not, then don't do it. Just to be sure that nothing bad happens. And the same thing here. Okay. So now we can actually remove the data from the database. So to do that, we are going to need the string UID. So it is basically just go from just how can I say it? Go backwards and undo everything that you've done. It can be, it is really easy. So you can copy almost everything, copy that, yeah, and now instead of set location, we just remove location, and to remove location you only need the user ID. This is from the customer request. Now we are going to remove, or actually, yeah, you can say remove the customer ID that's inside the driver's ID. And to do that, we only need to set this child back to true. And if you set it to true, set value to true, then everything that's inside it will clear. It's almost as if you rewrite the child. So let's say if driver found ID, or actually we don't even, but let's say, okay, different from null. So if a driver has been found, which you can see here, if this is different from null, then we can say, let's grab this, yeah. We can say that this ref dot set value equals to true, and the driver found ID equals to null. Okay. Then we need to say that driver found equals to false. We need to go point for point, erasing everything that we did. Just that. The radius is equal to 1. The radius being this radius, which we use to get the closest driver, as you can remember from the previous lessons. And now we've erased the location. We've done all that. Okay, let me just see. Oh, all that's left now is to remove the marker from the map. as you can remember, we have a marker for the pickup location. She's somewhere in here. Where is? Okay, it is here. So let's create a variable for that same marker. Let's say marker, pickup marker. And if pickup marker different from null, do this if, because if you don't and the marker doesn't exist, the app will probably crash. Keep that in mind, please. So just remove, and that's it. So yeah, request ball. I believe that's everything to do with with the customer side of things. We must say that the marker is something, otherwise it won't ever remove it, because it isn't associated with a marker in the map. So make sure you do that. And yeah, that's all. So we can go ahead and move on to the driver map activity, because we need to let the driver know that he is no longer working and he's available at the moment. So can go into the driver map activity. And now, to know that, because when you cancel an Uber, the only thing that the driver can see is that something, the customer ID that was here stopped being. So we need to we need to be always listening, both for the adding of a child here and the removing of a child here. Both are important. So to know when a child is removed, you simply go in here to the get assigned customer. And if you didn't see the lesson where I went over how to create, how to call an Uber, please go ahead and check it out. Otherwise you won't understand much. So every time a child is removed, this if data snapshot exists returns false. So if we say else, this else will be called every time a child is removed from this parent child. Okay, so this is the trigger that tells us that the customer request has been cancelled. The ride has been cancelled. Okay, so if the drive has been cancelled, we first of all need to make sure that the customer ID is back to null. As I've said before, it is just going point for point, cancelling everything that we did previously. Customer ID is equal to null. Then let's just say what we have here. Okay, we have a listener, have a bunch of things that we need to do as we did before. So in here we have a marker that we need to erase and the listener that we need to cancel. To do that, we are going to first of all create a pickup location marker. Let's just call it pickup marker. No need to overcomplicate things. Okay, we are going to create a variable of the type database reference and remove it from here in order for it to become global. And now we are going to create the listener variable, private value event listener. Just copy that and just add listener to the end. Okay. Now the driver is really simple. The only thing that we need to do is say if pickup marker different from no, pickup marker dot remove, as we did before. And now the listener, we call first of all the ref dot remove, not remove value, dot remove event listener, and copy the listener inside. So yeah, that's everything. We can actually go ahead and add, just to be sure, a flag here, a flag not, a stop point here, just to say that if the customer ID is equal to nothing, which is the default state of the customer ID, then don't do what's below that, okay, different from. And that's everything. Let me just be sure. Yeah, that's everything. We are going to now run it and see if everything checks out as we did before. So let's do it. Okay, so it has launched. Let's open the driver here. It crashed. So yeah, let's go into our driver map activity, because that's where the problem lies. Strange, I believe everything is right. Okay, you can. Let's just add another if here. Maybe it's because we still don't have an assigned customer, and this else is called because nothing exists in the beginning. Maybe the listener is null, and because of that it is crashing. Let's just say different from null. I don't know if it is this, but maybe. So yeah, let's add that and run the app again. Okay, so it opened up and it still hasn't crashed, so that's always a good sign. So let's go ahead and call an Uber. Everything is fine. Okay, so we didn't mess anything up, and let's just wait for this to load up, because the screen on here is a lot slower. Okay. Okay, so when we click again, that triggers the cancel ride portion of the code. So let's go ahead and click it. And there we go. Everything is working just as it should be. Wait a bit for this to load again. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to take a look at it when this lesson is finished, so that we don't have to wait as much. But it should be almost there, because in my phone it already is updated. Okay, so there you go. Everything is done. Only the text on this button is not updated, but we can do it just as easy. Let's go into customer map activity. And where? Okay, so when the driver is cancelled, the ride is cancelled, we can call just mRequest.set text, call Uber, and that should do it. So yeah, that is everything for this lesson. I don't know what we are going to do in the next one, but I'll figure it out. I'll probably add some more significance to the app, so I can make it look more like Uber. But I believe that the main goal is done. Everything that a taxi app, mainly Uber, should have is already implemented. So yeah, I hope that this tutorial has been truly helpful to you. Please leave the feedback down in the comment section. Also tell me what you want me to do. I'm thinking about doing a Tinder app, and I know it may sound a bit awkward, but there is no lessons for you guys on YouTube, as far as I could tell, that teaches you how to build a Tinder app. So I'll probably do that. I'm also thinking about building a website for this channel, and I'll take you along with that. I'll be using WordPress, and I'll make it as simple as possible. Probably no code will be used, just a little tweaks of the CSS and HTML, but everything will be extremely simple, so that if you guys have a YouTube channel, you can just follow along and create a website for you. So yeah, leave a like, subscribe, donate if you can, and I'll see you again next time.